Hello and welcome to the 2025 Boundless Society update. I kind of laugh at the idea of a 2025 Boundless Society update because even before Forrest and I decided to create this YouTube channel called Boundless Society, many of these goals are ones I've been pursuing long before 2025, if I'm being honest. And one of these is housing security. And part of my motivation in building the school bus was to gain housing security. Although, after 5 years of living off the grid, I did find myself burned out, and it led to a big change in 2024 for me, which was moving out of my van and moving into a brick and mortar apartment building. And while I could see why people might think that was a step backward, there were several reasons why I decided to make this change. For one, I was really burnt out from living off grid. Just consider it. All those days you have where you can't get off the couch, where you just feel awful and you just want to lay around all day and veg out. That literally was never an option for me. There was always some type of logistical life need that I had to address. And also I was dealing with a lot of stress from a lot of harassment that I was being subjected to while in the bus. And I needed to take some time to get my mental health in order. Lastly, I found myself limited a lot of times by the amount of power that I could produce while living off-grid via solar. And mind you, I was living in the Pacific Northwest during the winter. The plan with the apartment was to just give myself some space to work and to create videos and to take a break from the off-grid life and kind of recover from that burnout that I was experiencing. So how did this all go? I mean, of course, there haven't really been any changes in society that would make renting any less painful. And I'm still wasting my money paying toward a building that will never be mine, that will never benefit me. I'm still giving my money to a corporation who treats me pretty badly. And moving right into that, I did have a lot of issues here with being able to sleep through the night just because of the amount of noise. And while I'm not going to get too deep into the story, at the time I saw the situation as easily resolvable, especially since the main perpetrator causing the noise disturbances after hours was the person responsible for keeping it quiet. As Forrest said one time, never attribute to malice what you can attribute to incompetence. And I would add the asterisk laziness. And I think I could chalk this situation up to a bit of both. But even though I was able to maintain my positive mental health space by remaining stoic about the situation, it didn't make the consequences of being chronically sleep deprived any easier to deal with. And it seems really insane to me that people sign up to live for a year, sometimes more, in a place having never spent the night there. But that's a normal part of renting. And honestly, if you want to rent, you don't really have a choice in that. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've never been offered by a landlord to stay overnight at a dwelling to see what it's like. And to be fair, I never had the nerve to ask. And it really revealed to me that when you're renting, you aren't really able to really understand what you're fully committing to until you've already signed on the dotted line. And you're really at the mercy of the people that you're in a contract with, the people you're living around, and the people who are employed there. And that's a lot of opportunities for things to go sideways. And despite trying to do my due diligence and considering all the information that was available to me, I still wound up in a pretty crappy situation, if I'm being honest. Because while I had made a calculated plan for how much time I would be losing out on from working more hours and how much time that will leave me on my projects, I didn't really count in time that be spent catching up on sleep because someone wants to slam doors outside my apartment all night. So I'll admit, part of this year I did spend feeling pretty depressed and exhausted by the demands of off-grid life and the harassment I was experiencing, and then I spent another part of the year depressed and exhausted by the financial demands to pay bills on my own and make rent, and a job situation gone south. But that's a story for another day. And while all that sounds pretty rough, and trust me, it was, this all left me more motivated than ever to continue to pursue housing sovereignty through land acquisition. And one plus of this year is that for really the first time since COVID, I feel like I'm seeing options of properties that have a lot of the traits that I'm looking for, and I hadn't really seen that in the market. And living in the bus did allow me to establish my credit, which is something that I never had the time or energy to focus on doing, or the money. And that opens up a lot of different opportunities to advance these goals of creating spaces that are for free people to occupy freely. And despite the fact that Forrest and I often joke that the name Boundless Society sounds like a cult, we really do want to create a space where people's individual desires and personalities are respected. I can say I did not accomplish the goal of getting land. That was definitely one of my 2024 goals, and it didn't happen due to my workplace situation that I mentioned earlier. That caused a lot of disruption in my cash flow, but I did put a lot of work and effort into improving my mental health and not allowing those situations to bring me down. Despite all that, I still crossed into this year feeling extremely positive and motivated. I'm definitely ready to continue making moves towards building the Boundless Society community, both physically and virtually, and making sure it's something that's accessible to people as far as cost and culture. I was able to regain my creativity despite a lot of the struggles and stress I was undergoing, and I have written tons of video scripts. I'm really proud of the videos we were able to produce last year, and I can't wait to make more. So if you'd like to see it, I hope you plan to subscribe and comment. What were your goals for 2024, and did you accomplish them? If you listened this far, whoa, thanks. You're the best. Bye.